Hey everybody, Mike Rhyner of Your Dark Companion here to talk to you about Al Maximo, football, soccer, F1. They are our Spanish language show. It features Victor Villalba, the Spanish voice of the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Mavericks, and Carlos Nava, ESPN Deportes reporter of NFL, MLB, NBA, boxing, and soccer. They give the majority's look at sports and all that implies. They are Al Maximo. Check them out at patreon.com/Sunset Lounge DFW.
Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Rhyner, sports talk.
Baseball, 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 baseball. Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
We got a lightning strike, boys. What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
The Texas Rangers win the World Series.
All right. Here's a tip for all these Americano League teams.
Wait, you said tip?
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, colon, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off sake.
This is a cool night or what? Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Your Dark Companion, America's favorite podcast. And we're in here inside the nurturing biosphere of the mothership today. We're ready to talk about, I don't know, whatever pops up. But a lot of it is going to center around college football because I don't know if you know this or not, but college football is underway. And guess what? As of tomorrow night, the NFL will be underway. Yeah. How you like that? You like that? You ready for this? Well, regardless, that's what you got. But let's stick with the college world today. We can get into the pros some other time because we have with us today Brian Estridge, the longtime play-by-play voice of TCU football.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, man?
Good. It's good to see you, man. It's good to be here. Honored to be here, man.
Well, we're honored to have you and very appreciative of you doing this.
We can say anything on this show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah. Anything
like
at
that,
all.
Man. Yeah. We can talk about anybody?
Yeah,
Sweet.
you can.
Good. Our former bosses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Former boss. That's always in play.
I'm all in.
Especially for me.
That might be a three-parter.
Yeah, I'm all in then.
Now, that other voice you're hearing is a guy who was nice enough to come in here and give us a hand with this today. You know him from the Engel, heard over on the Sunset Lounge. He is also a sports columnist
Also,
of the Star Telegram, actually first and foremost.
Don't you have to say the sports columnist?
I guess you
For the
do.
Star Telegram.
not a lot of us.
Yeah, just say the.
Well, a long time when you could be an A sports
Right.
columnist, one of several. He was one of several. Now,
Yes.
he's the guy. He is the great Mac Engel.
Thank you very much, Mike. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you as always. Now, we got to talk a little TCU football for sure today because they got off to a pretty rousing start. I would say with a big win over North Carolina. And ordinarily, you might say, okay, North Carolina, basketball school, that's nice. And you might think, okay, let's pat TCU on the head and send them out to play with the other kids. This time around, though, it's different because the eyes of Football America were on this game the other night. Why? Because North Carolina is now coached by Bill Belichick. And TCU laid a thrashing on them. Did you see that coming?
I didn't see the ass whipping it was. I thought there was a shot that North Carolina might be bad because 70 new players, there were ran off that you knew Mac could recruit. He might not be a great X's and O's guy, but he can recruit players.
Yeah, Mac being Mac Brown. Right?
Yeah. I mean, so when they had 70 new faces, and then you see who they took, and you thought, they weren't exactly top of the line players. And I thought TCU was going to be. I think TCU has some talent. But I didn't see that coming, Mike. I didn't see what took place. And then after drive one, and they drive down and score, you obviously didn't see it coming. You're thinking, oh, this might be for real here. But then after that, it was just on. It was easy.
Did you notice any one particular thing that seemed to turn the game TCU's way?
Yeah, they made.
it must have happened really early.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, they made a couple of adjustments along the defensive line. I think that was the one thing they weren't prepared for what they were going to see out of North Carolina's offense. They brought an extra offensive lineman in at times. I think that was a little something that caught them off guard. They became a little more aggressive defensively. They went small up front a couple of times, so the D-line did TCU just to use their speed. And I think those were some adjustments. And I think some of it is just kind of, settling down. I mean, you had 50,000 people there. You had the other LT. You had Michael Jordan, Mia Hamm. There were a lot of goats in the house, up for that game. And so I think they had to get past all that. And then after the dust settled, you realized, okay, we're better than they are. I think that's what TCU decided, and they went out and took care of business.
I thought they would win. I did not realize, and it hit me about the middle of the second quarter or whenever it was. TCU got a pick six to go up by 10, and you knew when they went up by 10, the game was over. Carolina wasn't moving the ball at all. But the thing I think what's happened is that Belichick, after 20 years, really did become the extreme version of the coach who believed his own bullshit. And I'm sorry. I mean, the guy's a great coach. I mean, he was. What he did with the Giants under Parcells and in some other places, and certainly what he did as a defensive guy in New England, you can't take that away from him. But if you don't have players who can do what you want, I don't care how smart you think you are. Yeah. And, I think the other thing, too, is everybody has an expiration date in that business.
Yeah.
And, Bill Parcells said it. I like to quote him a lot. He's had a lot of good sayings. But at some point, you got to get off the train. You just do. And he doesn't want to because he doesn't know what else to do with his life. And meanwhile, the NFL has told him in 2 coaching cycles, yeah, we don't want you anymore. You had a great run, and the fact that he got a run as long as he did is remarkable. But to think that he's going to walk down to the college level, which I know everybody wants to say, well, it's the pro game. No, it's not. It's not. I know guys are getting paid, but these are still college kids, and a lot of them have to accommodate for classes and maturing, things that pros don't have to do. I'm like, why did you think this was going to work? It didn't work for Bill Walsh at Stanford, and it's not going to here. And meanwhile, he loaded up a roster that's just inadequate, and TCU exposed all of it.
Are you surprised? Are either of you guys surprised that nobody wanted him?
Yeah,
because I'm not. Really.
Yeah, he must just be a pain in the ass.
A nightmare.
I mean, he's just got to be that way.
Yeah,
to the point where you can't get past it.
That's why, on one hand, I'm not surprised that nobody wanted him, but on the other hand, there's always somebody that's crazy enough and desperate enough out there in this game.
Yeah, you would think.
The thing that I think the age thing worked. If he was 63, he gets a job. He's not. He's 73.
Right.
And I think when Atlanta interviewed him, and he thought he was the leader in the clubhouse, and then they said, we're going to go to this guy who didn't work out in Tampa, that said to me everything. Yeah. And I also think the owner in New England, Bob Kraft, must have buried him.
Yeah, he must make calls around. Yeah.
Oh, whenever they were sitting around having drinks at the owners' meetings, and they're at 5-star hotels, and they're just chit-chatting and telling stories, he must have absolutely buried him, and I think that's what ended.
He must have just unloaded all the things that he couldn't get Belichick to do. All the normal things that when you work for somebody, the things that you will do for them, and he must have just unloaded on all the things that he wanted Belichick to do that he just wouldn't.
And I think that's why Belichick to this day harbors so much anger and resentment towards him, even though what he should do is bow down and thank him, because he was the only one who was going to give him a job.
Yeah, at the time.
And
he
he damn
near
he was going to fire him.
Yeah.
Had Drew Bledsoe not getting hurt, and he played out the rest of the way, Belichick was going to get fired.
Yeah.
But they found Brady, and 20 years of magic.
Yeah. Well, all that's well and good, but we're not here to talk about North Carolina.
This isn't North Carolina talk.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. This is not North Carolina talk.
Yeah, it's over.
This is TCU talk.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, Brian, how real was what we saw the other day?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mike, because I'm not sure if it's how bad is North Carolina or how good is TCU.
Yeah.
And it's probably somewhere in between.
Sure.
It's probably a little bit of both. I think you had Galloway on last week, right?
Yeah, we did.
The other day, and Galloway had that saying forever. It's about the quarterback, and it is. And TCU's got a good one, And Josh Hoover's a guy that turned down a whole bunch of money from Tennessee to stay at TCU. That tells you a little bit about his worth. I think that hey, Tennessee, an SEC school, wanted him, and he's a great kid, and you kind of pull for a guy like that. I think he showed in game one that he's a quality player, and so as long as you've got an upright Josh Hoover, I think you got a chance, and especially the way the game is today, man. And then this is also a team that was homegrown pretty much. I mean, yeah, there are some portal transfers that are making a difference, but the majority of these players have been in the program, and that's the way Sonny wants it. It's not. As he said, this is a relationship program. This is not a transactional program.
Yeah.
They're not going out and buying 70 new players. And so with that comes some continuity that I still think has value in this game. And I think we saw it on Monday night. They brought in 70 new players. And by the end of that game, I thought the body language for North Carolina was awful.
Oh, they quit.
And I'm thinking, man, it's game one. And you're playing for Bill Belichick, and you're already acting like that. So I think that's where having guys that have been in the program for a while make a difference.
I think the thing that really struck out to me about the first weekend was Texas is loaded with quality quarterbacks. Yeah, SMU has Kevin Jennings.
Oh, you talking about from the state?
Yeah,
From the
I
state?
thought you were talking about the school. I'm thinking, man, what game were you watching?
No.
Where we
hear me out. So the state is loaded with quality quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Baylor has Sawyer Robertson.
Didn't play great.
No, he didn't. But he's been good.
Sure,
I thought he was
like
good.
him.
Auburn kind of did a number on him a little bit. Marcel Reed at A&M looks really talented.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kevin Jennings did a phenomenal job last season at SMU. You have Arch Manning, who got all of the headlines because of his last name, and the best one might have been Josh Hoover.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of a guy, he's played 24 college games. That's a lot. That's a lot in this day and age. And there were certain plays that he made that only an older guy could make, where all he did was just move around a little bit, got himself square, and he made really nice throws. And I eventually think Arch Manning will do that. He looked terrible. God, he looked so bad in Columbus. Some of those throws, what are you doing?
It was just beyond description.
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad. But I think, when you look at all, and it'll settle down and change.
Yeah, he will. He will.
But the Hoover thing, I mean, he's a fourth-year player. He's been there for 4 years, and he's pretty good. So I think, you don't really know who's what yet. You have to give it another 3 or 4 weeks. But that, to me, was the most encouraging sign, was this is a guy who keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
And if your quarterback keeps getting better and better, then you can do a lot.
You know how us old guys like to compare?
Oh, yeah.
We always have to flash back with these new ones, just like.
Do you do that with your wife, with girlfriends you dated?
Yeah, I've
Becky,
tried
you
that.
remember her?
Becky,
She was
remind
amazing.
me. Yeah, right. No, but with Josh, I've kind of done that already. I'm like, hey, who does he remind me of? And because I do play that sort of comparison game, and if you want to think of like a fairly new era guy, he reminds me of Drew Brees. He kind of reminds me of Drew Brees, a little bit shorter. But if you want to even go back, Mac's not as old as you and I are. If you want to go back, I mean, he reminds me of Pat Hayden. Remember Pat Hayden played for the Rams?
Wasn't Pat smaller than Josh?
I think no.
Same ballpark?
I think they're about the same size. Pat could run around a little bit, but he could throw it. They had great teams with the Rams when he was there. He kind of reminds me of Pat Hayden, the way he carries himself. And so if you're 6 feet tall and can run around like that, it's a good thing, right?
I covered Josh when he was in high school.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Rockwall Heath.
Yeah, Rockwall
right?
Heath.
Yeah.
With Inside High School Sports. He's been a great kid. He's a great person off the field too, not just on there. So I think he's awesome, and I love seeing him at TCU.
Well, the one thing I liked about, and I think it goes to say for all those guys that I mentioned, Robertson, Jennings, Reed, I can't really speak to as much. Certainly Arch, because of the way he grew up. All these guys act like the adult, and they were in the room.
Yeah,
they've all been groomed now since they were like 13 to be older than they really are.
Yeah.
Like none of them you would come away with saying, "Well, this guy's a knucklehead. He's an immature idiot."
It's funny.
Well, don't all coaches want their quarterback to be like the leaders of the team?
Yeah.
Now they're groomed.
I mean, that's certainly one thing that hasn't changed in the game of football, has it?
The one.
Y'all know he was a better baseball player than he was a football player, right?
Yeah, he was a great pitcher. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Was he really?
Yeah, he's going to get drafted.
Yeah, I said that Monday night when he threw the pick.
Mm-hmm.
I said he's a little high on the four seam there. I mean, it was because, but you think about it though. You're right about it. I mean, the one thing when we asked him last week, hey, what was the one thing in the offseason you wanted to be better at? When we were talking to Josh Hoover, Mike, and you know how guys will always say, oh, I got to work on my footwork. I want to work on my decision making. And he said, I need to be more consistent. And I said, as a player, and he said, no, with my teammates. I want to be because they follow my lead. I just want to make sure I'm working hard every day. I'm consistent in my attitude every day. I'm consistent in how I eat every day. I'm demonstrating, things that they should see. And I'm thinking, how old are you, dude? You sound like a 40-year-old who's trying to get that next job.
I'm 52, and I wish I said.
Yeah, no joke. I'd like to be
consistent.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so there's something to be said about that. But the thing you'd like about him is his dad was a linebacker. His dad played college linebacker at Colorado State, and that's how he taught him how to play offense from the other side. So he taught Josh about defenses and how you attack them. He goes, because he would say, okay, hey, if they're in this is what they're trying to get you to do. This is how you beat it. And so he taught him from the other side. So he kind of has that skill set that not all quarterbacks have had, or been blessed with, I guess.
Yeah,
he looks good. I think, he looks pretty good. And when you looked at TCU's best teams in the last 20 years, they all have one thing in common: quarterbacks who are upperclassmen, juniors and seniors. Yeah, and that's a common for a lot of teams, but them more so than most.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this, because I haven't had to pay a lot of attention to college athletics for a few years now, and I've done a real good job of that.
You've excelled.
Yeah.
In fact, it's one of the best things I've ever done.
Right, really good at it.
How hard has it been for you guys who are in the big middle of it and have been for all this time to adjust to the way to what it's turned into?
Yeah. I try not to think about it. I try not to think about what they're making. I try not to think about, the fact that that kid could only be here for a semester. It's not a year.
Yeah.
They're here for a semester. I try not to think about whether or not they're going to class. And I'm not talking about TCU there, and I'm not spinning that because I work there, but I do know that they do go to class, and there are some places that they don't. I try not to think about any of that crap, man, because if you do, then you kind of go, what am I doing here? Why am I watching some 19-year-old who's making $500,000 pout on the sideline? It would make the job a lot more difficult. So I don't even think about. I try not to think about it. I don't think about lines. I don't think about any of the gambling stuff because I just don't want to know. It just would.
Lines interest me just to give me an idea.
Well, you're trying to get out of the hole.
Yeah. I'm just chasing it. You know what I mean? What time's the game on white?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And again, any Pakistani kickball I can bet on. No, but I think the thing that bothers me about it, and I was wrong. I was really wrong about paying student athletes. I was like, it'll never work. Blah blah blah. It'll be Pandora's box, because that's what all the decision makers in the administration and the NCAA had said forever. Well, we can't do it; it'll implode. Well, that's not the case. People are still playing. People are still paying. All that stuff, and it's going to go on. And the thing that I noticed, what's really tough, and Brian and I, we were at dinner on Sunday night. He was nice enough to take me to dinner with his radio crew. This is the first time that I've really noticed my appetite for it has changed. Not because kids are getting paid. Kids are getting paid long before it became formal.
Yeah,
sure.
just illegal.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
The thing that's made it so hard is I don't know who's on the teams. I have no clue who's on the college basketball teams.
Right.
None.
Right.
But with the football teams, I'm like, how do you sell and market a team beyond just the logo and the tradition when your roster changes more than professional teams?
Yeah.
Right? The turnover now, 33% of an NFL roster changes year to year. I bet in college it's even more than that now.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I don't know, what are you selling? You've got to have some thread from year to year other than, coach. But it's hard in the sense that it has affected my thirst for it for sure.
I think it'll hurt things in the end, though. In this regard, I think it hurts things for schools in that for years we've had affinity for our program.
Yeah,
your alma mater. That's who you pulled for, and the players all came along. But what's happening is, and we see this with fantasy football too. I'm a team fan. I'm a fan of a team. Okay, my son, who's in college, is a fan of players. because of fantasy football and building their draft and things of that nature. So he doesn't pull for a specific team. He pulls for guys. He pulls for baseball players. He pulls for football players. He has no affinity for a team. He pulls for players. And I think in the end, that's going to hurt, the universities of the world who all of a sudden, hey, I'm not a fan of TCU. I'm a fan of Josh Hoover. And wherever Josh Hoover plays, that's who I pull for. And I think that's bad.
Well, and the one thing that I've thought about this a lot, like there was some kid who announced he transferred. It just happened the other day. He's on his 6th team.
Yeah.
And the one thing that set you apart as an NCAA Division I athlete, or just an NCAA athlete, was if you stayed for 4 years, and I realize some of this is, old people talk, but you could have value to your community if you developed a name there in 3 or 4 years, right? And you could be a part of that community, and they would reward you, and it's a give and take. And I'm sure SMU's loaded with guys like that, right? Yeah. And they use that relationship and all those friendships that they made in their 3 or 4 years and their celebrity and their fame to enhance their worth and their life after they graduated. Who the hell's going to do that now?
Where do they go?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Nobody got time for that.
No. And where do they go for homecoming? If they're in 6 different schools, seriously, where do they go back for homecoming? Where we won't retire any more jerseys.
Yeah.
Because nobody's there long enough.
So I was at Duke on Monday. No, Tuesday. I went to Duke. They were nice enough to let me in camera.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is
It's
really
one of the best. I wanted to go to Duke. That's where I wanted to play.
And then they looked at your resume.
Yeah. Would you have gotten in?
Yeah.
As an
barely.
athlete, she could have. Yeah, she would have.
Yeah, barely, but I would have.
Yeah.
I had a 32 on my ACT, and they wouldn't let me into Georgetown. So
I had 32 when I took it 3 times, and I ended up at 32. So I'm at Duke, and they let me into Cameron Indoor Stadium, which is it's a really neat place. It's really cool.
Beautiful.
It's really cool. And I'm looking up there and looking at all their jerseys that are retired. The last jersey retired was J.J. Redick.
Yeah, it might be the last one.
Because he graduated, and they've held on to the. You have to graduate from Duke for us to retire your number.
Right.
And I'm like, who the hell's going to stick around for 4 years to graduate?
Think about remember we used to think about 1,000-point scorers in college basketball.
Yeah.
Nobody will score 1,000 points at a school anymore.
No, they will now because some guys will get paid. Some guys will stick around.
Just stay for a couple of years.
Oh yeah, they'll stay longer now.
But you're not going to have the number you used to have.
Way.
I mean, 1,000 points used to be a big deal in college, and there's nobody going to get there anymore. It's crazy. God. I know it's a weird world.
It's a whole different dynamic.
Yeah,
and man, I'm really having a hard time getting my head around.
Well,
this.
when you were in the '80s and you lived in Dallas and SMU was rolling and everybody knew what the score was.
Yeah,
was it better then?
Because guys were getting paid.
Yeah, guys. I mean,
yeah, those guys were getting paid, and everybody knew it. But at the same time, it was not something that. Well, wait a minute. I was going to say it's not something that you heard talked about, but you did hear it talked about.
Did you?
it just wasn't so blatant. Like
now
mean,
it's
even when we were playing, I was 15 years ago. Gosh darn it!
It just wasn't a part of the order of things back then.
We weren't talking about
principle anyway.
Yeah, we weren't, and you didn't know what they were making.
Well, and it wasn't $1 million contracts either.
They all talk like Eric Dickerson and Craig James were at a thing the other day at SMU, and they were talking about, and they're very honest now about what they got, and it wasn't that much.
What was it? It was like $35,000.
Not even that much.
Really?
It was less than that. Yeah, I mean these weren't big numbers.
Right.
These were, $400 or $500 and things like that, and cover meals and gas. And now Eric, famously got the Trans Am, which would have been worth a lot. But Eric is really honest about, no, this is what I got. Now it was more than that guy, but it wasn't that much.
Sure, you have free shoes and
swag,
$100 in a pizza box.
Yeah, I mean stuff like that. And now you look at what these guys are getting, and you're like, you got $2 million, and you're not even going to play in the bowl game because you think it's a dog crap game. I'm like, what in the hell?
These guys are 20 years old and they're getting $2 million.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, without really binding contracts either. That's the other thing.
That's the other one.
Like Mac was saying, Mike, they could be getting paid. Depends on the early stages of NIL, especially. They weren't forced to play in a bowl game, even with that contract.
Are they now?
Some of them are being written to where, which is real kind of gray area. But, I mean, they could still opt out of a game and get paid, and it's like, How does that work? You know,
Shouldn't.
And then of course, this is a pro game too. All of a sudden, you're paying a guy $400,000 at center who all of a sudden is averaging 4 points and 4 boards, and you're thinking, I'm not getting my money's worth here. Sorry.
Well, that's the one part of it, and I think they'll figure it out. But I'm like, well, then you've got to prorate these contracts. I understand if the kid says, I really don't want to play in that game, right? I get it. So if you don't, and
You
I
deduct?
deduct. Like, okay, that's fine. Then we're not going to give you your
but then
final
here's the
installment.
problem. Then it's pay for play, and that's illegal.
Yeah.
Pay for play is illegal. Yeah, you can't.
What I always thought.
Yeah, you can't pay them to play. Well, then you can't separate a game like that.
I will say this: Pat McAfee said it very well,
Or at least
Very
tried.
well.
Yeah, he tried to.
Street,
Did
actually.
it come out? Did he get it out?
Where he
Yeah,
talked
exactly.
about how they talked about, this isn't meant to be for playing. This is meant to be for marketing. This is what
Yeah, but
you're
there is no
supposed to look
marketing.
like. But there is no marketing.
No, they did an end around on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, what kind of marketing do they do?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not seeing billboards of SMU guys everywhere.
No, and the little bit that there is, the market for it, the market for the marketing is so small that it doesn't matter.
Well, then there's some.
There's
some. And I'll say this: the one part of it, I remember the TCU coach, Jamie Dixon, the basketball coach. He and I were talking about the whole NIL thing, and I remember you and I had talked about this when they first kind of started it, and like they're going to be small opportunities. So they had some
It
social
was like
media.
Chicken Express.
Yeah, right. They had some social media expert come and talk to the team, and they said, this is what it's going to be. They said they're going to be the high-end players, like your quarterback or your star basketball. Like Cooper Flagg made a lot of money.
28 million.
Yeah, Duke. He made a lot. And let's just say half of that number is real. That's still $15 million or $14 million. And he said, this is going to come down. He said, you're going to be on a high-profile program, going to be a great player with a lot of social media followers, or you're going to be kind of quirky and funny. You do weird things on social media, so that'll make you stand out, or you're smoking hot. You're a glorified model.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why you look at the LSU gymnast, Livy Dunn, who really wasn't that good. And she got hurt a lot, but she's still a Division I gymnast. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But she wasn't that good. Like they weren't winning championships because of her.
Because she's hot as
She was beautiful.
all get out.
And
Well-
she dressed extremely provocatively.
Wait, did
And
you-
whose girlfriend is she?
She's
Paul Skeens, the
Paul
pitcher.
Skeens, the pitcher.
Oh, okay.
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Did y'all see the new girl, the girl at LSU that's an OnlyFans,
She has an OnlyFans
Model?
account.
and she's gonna be a gymnast at LSU.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's going on at LSU?
I have no idea. As soon as I saw that, I was like,
Everything
"What
sounds
in the world?"
Apparently,
Sounds like
nothing's off
South
limits at LSU.
I didn't realize that. Like to me, that would be off limits.
Well, and I, like the Cavender twins, the women's
Yeah.
basketball players at the University of Miami.
Yeah.
Like their whole bit, like they're pretty good players.
They're decent. They're good players.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
But their bit is they barely wear any clothes
Right.
and they're models.
Yeah.
And they're making a lot of money off of it.
It's crazy.
So, and you can do that now.
Yeah.
And that is what NIL was supposed to be. But
There's just not a market for it. There's not enough of that.
there's for
And then what do the dudes do? I mean, what's the equivalent on the men's side?
Oh,
Is there?
They're too young.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
No, I think I think for if you're a guy, you used to say, "Hi, I'm a football player at University of Texas. Hit me up, girls. I'll listen."
Yeah.
And that's it.
That
That's
way?
the bit. I'll just listen
I'll
to you
listen.
gripe for an
I'll
hour
listen.
and a half.
I'm a good listener.
Pay me. I'm a great listener.
Yeah. Try and see.
They're too
Hell,
young.
I could do that.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I don't know. Can you?
Not past that.
I could fake it.
Yeah.
Right.
So does all the, and I know I got you guys in here to talk about other stuff, and
No.
we'll get to it, I promise.
All right.
But does all of this stuff come under the, I guess, auspices, for lack of a better word, of the school, or is there some outside concern or agency or something like that handles it? And I mean,
They changed.
Yeah. The answer.
how does
the
this
answer
work?
is yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is
Yes.
kind of both. It is both for the most part. It was these external groups called collectives that were out there raising money for athletics.
And it's very important to denote they were technically not affiliated with the school, that they were working in conjunction.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how did that work?
And employed former employees or whatever they
Right.
did. But so that's the way it was set up. But now that this House settlement has occurred, $20 million is going to come from the schools themselves to student athletes in this revenue sharing that's taking place. So it's just, Mike, it's a mess, man. It really is. It is a mess. And you said it's not Pandora's box, and I'm just not sure it's completely open yet.
No, you think it can get worse?
Yeah.
Do you?
I think it could get worse. I don't know. I just don't know that in 10 years that we're all sitting here doing this podcast talking about college athletics anymore.
I think we will.
You think so?
Yeah, I think there'll be the dividing lines will keep, the gaps will keep getting bigger.
Right.
Right. But I still see in 10 years Clemson playing LSU.
And are those Clemson players students at Clemson?
I think they're
so?
still going to be tethered to that in some way.
Or are they just,
I don't know how
65 guys are paying?
Well, maybe, because I guess technically I guess if you wanted to, if you were a university, if you wanted to, you could say, okay, they're employees, that's a big deal, Mike. None of these schools want to make these kids employees.
They don't want to make them employees.
So that would be the crossover, right? And then, but the part that I don't understand is if everybody's a member institution of the NCAA, which they are still, I mean, they're still hanging on to that, they're not allowed to enforce basically any rule.
Yeah, the NCAA.
So what's the point?
Yeah. And you never hear, remember when we were growing up, or coming along or in the business, you hear this story about, or you heard this phrase, progression toward a degree, that you're progressing toward.
Yeah.
No one talks about it anymore.
But their graduation rates are through the roof.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're taking all their classes online.
Yep, or something.
Or somewhere. But literally, no one talks about progress toward a degree anymore.
None.
God, I can't imagine how many times I heard about my lack of that.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, you're ineligible.
Is that one of those? Define progress.
Right,
That's
right,
kind of a gray area.
Yeah.
All right, this is Brian Estridge, the play-by-play voice of TCU football. You do basketball too?
I do basketball too, yeah.
All right, if it's TCU sports, he's your guy. Mac Engel of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram and the Engel with us here. You still are with the Star-Telegram.
Check my email.
Yeah, exactly. Are they still printing?
Hey, you have to ask these days, you know?
Trust me. You're not the first person that's asked me that in the last week.
Who'd we lose last week? Was it the Atlanta Journal-Constitution?
Yes.
Stopped printing.
Yep.
Really?
The
AJC. That's coming.
The AJC stops printing.
Yep.
The Atlanta Journal-Constitution, great paper.
That's coming. That's industry-wide.
Gone.
Wasn't there another one a couple weeks
New
ago
Orleans
that did?
Time-Picayune, or the New Orleans paper did it. They're all going to do it eventually. It's very expensive, and when I go to airports, I was in an airport yesterday. I was in Raleigh. I saw a few people reading books, like a physical book.
Yeah.
Everybody was on their phone. They're all reading stuff. No, mostly people are just watching stuff now.
Yeah.
But I would be, in the next 8 to 10 years, I think most physical newspapers will be gone.
Raleigh yesterday, your dark companion today.
That's,
you big time or
right?
what?
Glamorous.
All right, this is Brian Estridge. This is Mac Engel, and it's time now for the most exciting part of any Your Dark Companion episode. The dreaded and feared mid-show read.
Dun, dun, dun.
Brian, you've done these before.
I have before, yes.
What if I told you you could free yourself of pain, anxiety? What if you're having sleepless nights and I told you that you could say goodbye to those too? And what if I told you that you could do it naturally? Well, the CBD House of Healing is here for you, man, because they can help you with all this stuff, and that's the way they roll. They do it all naturally. They carry only products from their lab made to meet the highest quality and purity standards. You can find your relief from the aches and pains, the emotional stress and drain, and sleep again. Shop them online, cbddallas.com, or in person, the CBD House of Healing. You can find them at 8550 Plano Road. You can also go in there and grab a slushie, too. The slushies are fun. 8550 Plano Road, Suite 101 in Dallas. That is in the northeast quadrant of that burgeoning intersection of Plano Road and Northwest Highway. Begin your healing at the House of Healing. And effective now, all vape products will be sold online only. Go to cbddallas.com for more. Or stop in there and see it for yourself, man. What the heck? Why not? You got nothing to lose. Do I have another one here, Ashley, or is that it? That's it. Okay. All right, so we can get back into wherever the hell this is going here. How long you been on the gig now?
26 years.
26 years, 26 man. That's
years.
A good run.
Yeah, it has been a good run. Yeah, it's a lot of bowl games. I was thinking about that the other day. I probably should add it up. I think it's like 22 bowl games. 22, 23 bowl games.
Oh, no, Mike. Speaking of bowl games, you need to ask Brian. You should be very proud of this.
What?
Brian's done a really good job of cultivating his own side hustle. I hope I'm not letting the cat out of the bag here in the bowl world.
Yeah.
He's got his own little deal. It's not little, your own deal. Where how many bowl games do you?
21.
21 bowl games.
Yeah, we produce, syndicate, and sell 21 different bowl games on national radio.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that about you.
Yeah, called Bowl Season Radio. Yeah. I had to keep it on the down low when we were working for that company. But since I don't work there anymore, I'll have to keep it on the down low, So
yeah. All right.
I had to be the silent partner back then.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
How did that get going? Did you start that? Or just
started it. Yeah.
Just connections you made along the way?
Yep. And just every year we've added bowl games, and now we're up to 21. So we do the same number as those as the 4-letter group does. We do the same number of bowl games they do. So, yeah, it's pretty good.
And, Brian was a part of the DFW morning talk show scene for how many years did you do WBAP?
13 with Hal. Yeah, did 7 with Galloway in the afternoon, and then 13 in the morning with Hal.
Now, that's a pretty impressive run. What time were you getting up in the morning?
3:45, yeah.
Mike, you did morning talk at some point, right? So what time did you get up?
I did morning radio.
Okay.
I got up at 4:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks, doesn't it?
How many years did you do it?
It does.
And people go, oh, you get used to it. No, the hell you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You never get used to it.
Never
But I mean, I'm a lightweight compared to that. I only did for 7, I think.
Yeah, and then said that no mas, right? I mean, that's enough, man.
Well, I kept doing it forever if I could have, but they told me that my services were no longer required.
Was there
somebody
any
else told
relief
you?
though when you I remember when you left because
Yeah.
you and I talked about it. I only did it for 2.5.
Yeah.
And I felt like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Did you have any relief when they said?
Oh yeah. I mean that, and you may miss a lot of the rest of it,
Yeah.
because like anything else, there is the good, there's the not so good, and the good is really good, and the good's something that you like and you take with you for the rest of your days on this planet.
Yeah.
But the not so good, when it comes to that, when it comes to those hours, that weighs pretty strong.
Somebody asked me after I quit, they said, and they'd seen me a couple of months after I'd stopped doing a morning show. They said, hey, how long have you started sleeping in yet? It was like 3 months afterwards. I said, yeah. They said, how long did it take you to sleep in till like 7 or 8? I went, 2 days? Yeah. I mean, because that's when you're supposed to be sleeping,
I mean,
I'm not locked into 3:45.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden you can do
exactly. That was work,
and
man.
it doesn't take long at all to shift into that gear.
No, and then when you're still trying to stay up and watch games or do games, or you got family and all that stuff, and you're going to bed at 10:30 and get up at 3:45, you're not worth a crap. And then you don't realize it at the time. And then when it's over with, you go, oh, life's a little better, man.
Yeah.
I admire those guys that can do it for 20 or 30 or 40 years.
Man, like Hal?
Like Hal. I'm like, Hal, I don't know how you do it, but good for you, man. You're
Hal, Steve Lamb. There's a bunch of them in this
they
town.
did forever.
I did it. That was a game. I'll never forget that phone call. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Well, you were relieved.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I missed part, like Mike said, that was a good way to put it. I missed parts of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I had any idea what it was doing to
the rest of your life.
Oh my God!
It's
chasing
awful.
sleep all day.
And you know what did it for me, Mike, was we did 416 straight shows from my home studio during COVID, and then management said, "Oh, by the way, you got to come back to Dallas." And I said, "No, I'm not going back to Dallas." And they truly thought I had another job. That I was leaving for, and I said, no, I'm not. I'm retiring. They said, you can't retire. What do you mean I can't retire? You can retire, well, you can't retire till the end of your contract. Well, I can retire, and if you retire, we're going to sue you for the rest of the contract. What? I'm like, I'm not going back to Dallas.
So they're going to sue you for something you haven't gotten.
Exactly.
Right. Like,
yes.
Go ahead.
I mean, I've got the letter. It's hilarious to read it. It's like, what are you talking about, man? And so, but
at least they know you. They wanted you.
Well, I don't know if they did or not, But when the contract ran out, I didn't re-up. I was like, I'm not going back to Dallas.
Man, Hal J is just a
He's a machine.
wonder.
Oh, he's
He
a
is a
great.
machine.
Yeah, he is a machine. He's the greatest dude on the earth.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Now he's on heart number 2. That's what happens when you have a big heart. You're a good dude.
Yeah, you run through
you get
them.
you get 2. And good for him, and he's doing great with it. So but I mean, guys like you and Hal and Galloway. I mean, those we're not making those anymore, unfortunately.
No, they don't seem to be, do they?
No, and that's we're all of us we're going to miss out. We're going to be the ones that or my kids will never know anybody like that.
Yeah,
and that's sad.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun having Mr. Randy in here the other day.
Yeah,
That was neat.
I mean,
that was neat to see.
I really didn't think that he would do it, and so I would have asked him way early on if I would have thought he would do it, but I didn't. And finally, I just reached a point, so I said, "All right, screw it, man. What's the worst that can happen?" He says no,
right.
but we asked, and he was all about it, and I feel really honored. Because he doesn't do anything.
No, I know.
For anybody these days.
Play golf or whatever he's doing now.
Yeah,
Right?
I watched it, and I had done when Brian and I were together at the other company where Ashley was. I had done one with him, and I said, "You should do a book." I think some of his daughters have said that you should write. He's like, "I'm not writing a book," and it's too bad because there's so many stories, and I'm sure we all do in our own way, but his are just a different. Strata.
It's a different level.
It is, and like he had one with Muhammad Ali and all these other ones. I'm like, we need to record this in some way, and like you did with the documentary that you did a little bit.
Yeah.
And we needed one with Randy, but he's just like, nah. And I'll give him credit about this. When he said, "I'm retiring," he meant it.
Yeah, he walked
did
away.
mean it.
He walked away from it.
He did mean it. There wasn't going to be no podcast
No.
or nothing like that, man. When he's done, he is done.
The one thing I admired about him the most, and you guys are like, I think you're like this, Mac. I think you are. I hope you are. And he used to talk about it, not on the air as much, but he used to talk about he would rip a guy in a column.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he would rip a guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he would be in the clubhouse the next day.
Yes.
Because he said you have to. If you're going to rip a guy, you got to show up.
Yeah, you got to show your face in the place,
you got to show
man.
up. Yeah, I mean, and he was legit about that, but then he also he would remember when Quincy Carter was going through all of his crap.
Yeah,
I was doing a show with him at the time, and he would rip on Quincy as a player, and we would all rip on him, and then Quincy got in that trouble. Remember, got arrested.
Yeah,
and Randy bailed him out.
Yeah.
Quietly. It's like.
And Quincy, I saw Quincy earlier this year.
Yeah.
He always mentions that.
Does he?
Oh, very much. Quincy's been through a lot.
Yeah.
They're good. I was not.
Is he coaching? What is he doing?
He's living in Georgia doing some coaching.
Yeah.
He's had some real highs and lows.
Yeah.
He's doing okay though, and he's very grateful for that. And I think that's a guy who's just trying to live straight and clean and kind of boring. Yeah, he is doing some coaching.
Is he around here much?
No, he comes back occasionally. He's got kids all over the place, and he's very open about that. I'm not speaking out of school here. He's very open about all of it. He's gone through the 12-step program towards sobriety, so he's been a speaker at certain engagements, recovery groups. But the last I heard, he was living in suburban Atlanta doing some coaching.
Imagine the pressure that guy was under. I mean, you think about it. Drafted way too high.
Way too high.
Thrown in as a starter way too high. It's just
the Dallas Cowboys.
For the Dallas Cowboys, it ate him up. Just ate him up. If you're not ready for it, man.
And he wasn't, but he was. You talk about Randy and Randy's ability to do that. It's something that I've tried to emulate.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to bury a guy,
got to show up.
And I've made myself available to guys. I'm like, listen, I buried you. If you want to sit here and pardon my French, I said, if you want to sit here and motherfuck me, go right ahead.
Yeah.
But let's do it and get it over with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always work.
No.
But it works more often than it doesn't.
Yeah.
Anybody ever do that?
Yeah, I have a good time. Did I tell you my Tom Herman story?
No.
Remember the old Texas coach?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I haven't thought of him in a long time.
Yeah, he's been gone for a number of
Florida
years.
International or wherever he is.
During his first year, well, one thing, and Mike, you know this, Brian, I know you know this, all the coaches and players who sit there and say, yeah, I don't read that stuff.
Yeah, right.
They all do. And if they don't, their mom does, or their dad does, or their wife does, or girlfriend, or brother, or somebody.
Yeah, one way or the other, it gets back to them.
Absolutely. Right. And they're keeping score. Like, I like the guy. Tony Romo kept score. He was very aware of who said what. That's just the way it was. And he's a human being. And the reason was Tony had never been knocked in high school. He'd never been knocked in college because he's playing at Division I AA Eastern Illinois. So that's pretty common. So with Tom, I had written a column, and I called him Tommy Boy, and it just kind of took off.
Yeah.
Randy used to call, John Boy Daniels. And I thought Tommy Boy fit. Well, apparently it got back to him, and he didn't like it. And so, I was killing him because remember when Tom was the head coach at UT, he had some behaviors and did some things where you're like, what are you doing, right? So I called him out on it. So then he gets fired. Then he gets rehired at Florida Atlantic University. And I thought, I need to go say hi to him and introduce myself because I had buried this guy, but I'd never been down to Austin, right? And one time he had called me out on a press conference, which I totally deserved. It was a conference call. So then I go, he's the head coach of Florida Atlantic. They're doing a media day in Arlington at Globe Life. And he knew who I was. And so afterwards we have an exchange and he says, hey, do you have a minute? I want to talk to you. I'm like, okay. So we sit down and chat. And the first thing he said to me was, why do you hate me so much? I'm like, Tom, I don't hate you. I don't even know you. He said, well, why did you write all this stuff? I said, because that's my job. So we proceeded to have a great conversation for about 30 minutes.
Friendly?
Yeah, very, very. Meaning, I remember the Texas AD had told me, the guy who ultimately fired him, said the problem was he was really young and they handed him the keys to a Ferrari.
Yeah.
And he was young when he took the job and probably a little naive about certain things and a little.
Where'd he come from?
Well, he's from Texas. He coached at a small school in Texas, but he'd been at the University of Houston and done really well.
Yeah.
But you remember, Brian, he said some things even at Houston. He did some things, and he just kind of got in the deep end. But the point was, I gave him a chance. I'm like, if you want to sit here and dog cuss me, I've earned it, so go ahead. And we had it out, and we have a great relationship now. I text him occasionally, and he's living in Florida with his kids, and he got fired again. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Didn't work with Baker Mayfield. But I totally come from that school of, and it's one of the things that drives me crazy about this new area of media, which is a lot of these guys are sitting there dog cussing this guy and that guy, and they never.
You never see their face.
You go see their face. Would you say it to their face?
Yep.
Well, then, maybe don't do it.
You have to do that, man.
That's
yeah. You do have to do that, but now you don't have to do it.
No.
I mean, you can get away without doing it. So that's just where we're at. So how many years for you at the Star Telegram now?
I think I'm almost on pace with Brian. I think I'm at 25 or 26. I mean, I'm one of the old guys now. I look around. And
you got to be the oldest guy there.
I'm not the oldest. I think I'm the second or third oldest in terms of editorial staff. Bud Kennedy has me outpaced by quite a bit. Bud's an institution in that town. And then, I'm one of the older ones there. I mean, I try not to ask.
You got to be the oldest guy in sports.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
You can take multiple employees and add them up, and I'm still older than some of them.
Yeah.
But I am. It is weird. I mean, when you said 26 years, I remember your first year here.
Yeah.
And if you would have told me then that, all this stuff later, I don't think I would have believed it.
Think about this town, though, back in the day, Mike, when you had the 3 columnists in both papers, and I mean, they were churning stuff out. And now it
was awesome.
Yeah.
Multiple papers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How competitive.
You had the Dallas Morning News, you had the Dallas Times-Herald, and then over in Fort Worth, you had the Star Telegram.
Yeah.
And before that, you had the Fort Worth Press as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they were churning out people.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
They were.
And
they went hard, man.
Yeah.
They really went hard at each other.
But look at all the guys around the country, too, man, who started here.
Oh. Gary Myers was here.
Yeah, everybody was. It feels like everybody was here.
A lot of those guys at ESPN were at the Morning News. Ed Werder was at the Star Telegram. And Morning News. I was back at WFA. There's a ton of those guys.
Yeah.
And the
thing is a big deal.
And the thing all those guys have in common is Sports Dave.
Yeah.
Dave Smith.
Yes.
The editor, the overseer of the Dallas Morning News sports section.
Did you know him, Mike?
Yeah, we had a couple of run-ins.
Run-ins?
Yeah, we had a couple of run-ins when we were at the Ticket. There were some things that he didn't like, most notably our very existence and our presence.
Right.
He didn't much care for that. For a long time, he wouldn't let any of his guys come on the air. And we just said, well, okay, we can do this without you, And he said, fine, do it. And you know what? We did.
Yeah.
I think that over time, some of that kind of wore off a little bit. But I respect the hell out of the guy.
Yeah, he did a good job.
I mean, he did. I mean, he came here at a time when somebody convinced the owners of the Morning News, the Belo clan, that for the newspaper to be successful, you had to get serious about two things, because this was all anybody ever read the newspapers for. One was sports, the other was business.
Oh.
And they took that to heart.
Yeah.
And they got Dave Smith in here. I don't know where he'd been before, but they brought him in here and said, look, just go get guys. You've got guys you want. You got guys you know. You got guys that you think can come in here and make a difference. Go get them. And, man, he did.
Yeah.
And Gary Myers was one of those guys. Yep. And there were a whole lot of others. But, man, I mean, if you have any regard at all for the way the sports scene is covered around here now as well as then it all goes back to him. I mean, even today, there's a lot of him still in the Dallas Morning News. There's a lot of his ethos that's still in it.
Think about the staff sizes back then, too.
Yeah.
I mean, how many, when you went to Star Telegram 25 years ago, how many people were in sports?
70 plus.
How many are there today in sports?
6.
Wow.
6 or 7.
How do you do that? 6.
You just a lot of things. Like, I'll give you an example.
6.
Charlton State.
Yeah.
Which is an hour southwest.
Beat Army.
Beat Army. That's a big deal.
Sure.
We did nothing with it. We don't have the staff size for it anymore. I don't know, and I'm not picking on anybody. I don't know if the Morning News did or not. But there are a lot of those things that you'd say, well, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. There's just and you know this, Mike, is the sports scene here, as big as it was, let's say in 1995. Hell, it's bigger now. I mean, look at all the stuff that's going on here all the time.
Is it? This is what I've debated. I've debated this about radio, Mike. All right, it's kind of the chicken or the egg. And in radio, it feels like the big ownership group said, we've got to save money, or we've got to make more money, whatever it is. So we're going to cut personalities. Well, everybody listens to the radio for personalities. You can't out Spotify, with music formats. So you got to have personalities, but they cut all the personalities, and then they wonder why they don't make as much money, or the ratings aren't as big, or as many people aren't listening to radio anymore. It was like, well, it was a dumb management decision for one thing, and it feels like the same thing in the paper.
Oh, it was that was. I remember when
we cut all the talent out of the paper. Nobody wants to read the paper anymore, do they?
I was at the Fan, and I remember the station director was a really nice guy. I remember. He said, what happened in newspapers is going to happen. It's starting to happen to us.
It's totally happened.
And it's a chicken or the egg thing. I know. I've followed it now long enough, and I know God knows you went through that corporate stuff. I don't know if it's chicken or the egg thing or not. I don't know if there's a market for it, but I know this: the people in charge, their first priority is paying themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, I took care of me.
Right.
You might not fit in. Sorry.
Sure. But they're going to tell you they're taking care of you.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the best deal I can.
And it all flows uphill anyway.
Yes.
They got to take care of mama.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
And if you don't take care of mama, then she ain't taking care of you.
Right.
That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
This has been great, guys. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. This has been fun. Good to see you, dude.
It's good to see you, Brian.
Yeah, I'm glad you're still getting after it, man. Hey, can I ask one question?
Sure.
Johnny Unitas photo behind you. Why Johnny U?
Why Johnny U? When I was a kid, first starting to get into the game of football, first of all, there was only one league then.
Yeah.
And the Baltimore Colts were the team. The Baltimore Colts were the best team. Johnny Unitas was the best player on the best team, so he's the guy that I gravitated toward.
I dig it.
And I was always a fan ever since, and it came and one of the highlights of my life, let alone career, was somehow we managed to get him on the air when he was here for a card show or something.
Isn't
like
it
that.
that picture right there with you and Grego right behind?
Yeah, that is. That is.
Oh, he's right there too. Yeah. Wow.
That's us.
Yeah, I was looking at that one. How about that?
Did he charge you?
No,
He didn't charge you.
No.
Because he was known to do that.
Really?
Yeah, he would charge Steve Sable. Remember NFL Films?
Yes.
He would. Okay, if we're going to do this, I need some money.
Really?
Yes. And when I saw that when I came here the first time, I was like, I wonder if he charged on that.
if he did, I didn't pay it.
Okay.
Somebody else paid for it.
Somebody else did.
Yeah. So you were a Colts fan kind of growing up?
Yeah.
Because of him?
Because of him, that
Yeah.
lasted for about a year.
Yeah.
Because the very next year, the remote yet burgeoning outpost of Dallas
Yes.
found itself smart enough to wind up with not just one, but
Right.
two
Two teams,
pro football teams.
Yeah.
So that was a little sports fans cornucopia then.
Yeah.
We went from minor league baseball being the best thing to that.
Until all of a sudden you had two teams.
Yeah.
Wow. Norm Bulash played for the Colts. You remember that name?
Oh, yeah.
He tells a funny story about this tells you how the world has changed for all of us. The draft today is 4 or 5 days, huge production, hundreds of thousands of people show up for it. When he got drafted out of TCU by the Colts, first round, I think, double check me on that, gets drafted by the Colts out of TCU. They call his house, old man Ursay, I guess, right?
Bob?
At the time, calls
No,
was that?
Bob, this was before Bob.
Was that way?
Yeah, it was before
Whoever owned the Colts at the time calls.
Would that have been Carol Rosenblum?
Maybe.
Calls his house. His mother answers the phone, and he says, "Yes, is Norman Bulash there?" And mother says, "Nope, he's at Love Field picking up his girlfriend. She's flying into town." And the guy goes, "Okay, thanks," and hangs up the phone. Norm Bulash is at Love Field. It gets would Norman Bulash pick up the white courtesy phone? He's at Love Field. He answers the white courtesy phone at the airport, and it's the owner of the Colts who says, "Norman Bulash? Yeah? Who's this?" It's the owner of the Baltimore Colts. "We've just drafted you in the first round of the NFL draft." And Norm's like, "Sweet, thank you very much. I appreciate that." He goes, I'll be home in about 20 minutes if you want to call me back." And he hangs up the phone. That's how he got drafted. He turns to the guy who's standing there waiting to get on the white courtesy phone for him, and he says to him, "Hey, I just got drafted by the NFL Colts, or by the Baltimore Colts." And the guy looks at him and goes, "You finished?" And that was it.
Like, who cares?
Yeah. Here he is drafted in the NFL draft. Nobody cared.
They didn't care then, but they do now.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Oh, man. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank
Brian,
you, brother. Yeah, good to see you, man.
best wishes to you. Good
Yeah,
to see
anytime.
you.
Good to see you.
Mac, as always, you're awesome. Anything I do with you, you make it better.
Thank you.
Did you ask him about his fantasy football team?
No. What about your fantasy football team, Mac?
Didn't you get a D rating?
Oh yeah, I did. So when we did our there's nothing more painful than to listen to somebody's stories about their kids or their fantasy draft.
Yes,
or their
that's
fantasy
true.
team.
Right.
So I drafted nothing but white guys, and that was hard. It's harder than you think.
Just look for BYU.
Yeah. Well, and there's some gray area in there. I'm like, is he really white?
Right.
His mom's white. So I just drafted.
Are you doing a bid here? Or
Yes,
what?
totally.
Okay.
Well, I did it a couple years ago, and I almost won my league. So I was like, maybe I can lightning strike twice. And like Norm is blowing me up with trade offers. I'm not kidding. And I'm like, no, if he's not white, I'm not doing it. So I didn't know this. Like ESPN sent me a draft eval. I didn't know they did that, and I got a D.
Not good.
D for dominant.
Yeah.
But skin, it's all about skin pigmentation. That's the only way I'm making
There you
trades. Yep.
All right, now let me tell you this before we go. Remember, you can find all episodes. Waters of the podcast. And while we're at it, if you're feeling what we're throwing down, how about a nice review? If you're by the channel on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can help others find us by leaving a review. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Mac. Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
Good to see you guys. Let's do this again sometime.
All right.
For your dark companion, thank you for watching. Bye.
All right. I'm gonna go take my pants off.
Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.